I'm going to show you guys some important cuts when it comes to James Hardie, the trim, how it's important to butt the trim, but also when siding meets trim, you want to leave 1/8 of an inch as specified by James Hardie. The purpose for that is as James Hardie will move a little bit, so you don't want it to buckle. So you want a little bit of movement because it's cementitious. It doesn't move that much like a vinyl siding or a PVC, but it does move just a tad bit. So you want that 1/8 of an inch. Another important reason for that is to fill that 1/8 of an inch with caulk. So James Hardie specifies to fill that gap with caulk, 1/8 in between the gap, 1/8 on the siding, 1/8 on the trim. So if you look right here, we did like a custom surround on this window. So we got the 5/4, which is a true 1-inch thick James Hardie board by 4 inches wide. Same right here. But the guys right here took a 4-inch wide board and cut it in half and ripped it down to make a little sill so that when water hits this, it runs off. It just doesn't run straight down, and it's decorative, so it gives a clean look. So they did a great job here. You can see how tight the trim is to the other pieces of trim. So when it comes to James Hardie, you want the trim to be tight. When it comes to siding to James Hardie trim, so James Hardie siding to James Hardie trim, you want 1/8 of an inch, only when siding's touching trim. When trim is touching trim, you want it to be tight, and you can see that around the entire window surround. You can see it where the window meets the trim. The window sticks out further than the trim, which is great, so that water runs over top and not behind. There's not an area for water to collect or drain or leak into. So this is great, it's beautiful. And then you can look right here where the siding meets the trim, that 1/8 of an inch that I was talking about. You can see how clean that 1/8 of an inch is, consistent all the way up the wall from this panel to the top panel. It's very clean. So we keep 1/8 of an inch around where siding meets trim. You fill that with caulk. Again, 1/8 of an inch in between at the gap, 1/8 on the siding, 1/8 on the trim. That way it's bleeding both onto the trim and siding and filling that gap. Also, you guys will see at the top of the window, so we have the base, we have the sill, we have the legs, which are the sides of the windows, and then we have the top of the window. At the top of the window, we did a 5/4, which is 1-inch thick by 4-inch board. Above that, you'll see our drip cap header flashing. Now, the vertical leg of that drip cap behind the wall goes up at least 3.5 inches to meet code requirements, and then we seam tape that, and then you put the house wrap moisture barrier over that vertical leg. That drip cap, where the drip cap, the top of the drip cap right above the 5/4 board sits flat, you need a 1/4 inch clearance, like right here. How there's a 1/4 inch clearance above this drip cap at the band board, you also need a 1/4 inch clearance above windows, above blocking where there's light blocks or spigots or other penetrations on the wall. You need a 1/4 inch clearance above that to allow for any water that gets behind the siding. If it were to get behind the siding, if it were to get behind the seams, for some reason get behind the siding, it's able to run out. If you don't have that clearance, water will collect down here if it gets behind the siding, collect, and then it has nowhere to drain out. So it's just gonna keep backing up, backing up, backing up into the house, rotting out sheathing. Composite material is impervious. James Hardie is pervious, so water will soak into James Hardie. That's why Hardie's very specific about their clearances. So super important clearances, how tight the trim is, and then an aesthetic looking drip cap to allow for water runoff, but also a clean look.